What is going on with monthly recurring stimulus checks? Let's discuss where we currently stand with these monthly payments and if it is possible for them to still arrive. Let's get right into it. Welcome everyone, as I have almost 1,600 videos right here for you. All right, thanks again. Let's get into this and discuss monthly stimulus checks, where we currently stand, and is the green going to start flowing into our pockets and or bank accounts or whatever. We just want it in our possession, right? Just give us some green. That's all we really care about, right? So of course, as all of us know, there are multiple different stimulus proposals out there right now. In fact, I've been talking about them lately, and there are multiple proposals out there now. I mean, seriously, everywhere you look, it's like $1,000 here, $600 there, $1,200 there, $2,000 there. I mean, there are so many different proposals out there right now. Sometimes it's almost like, what's even going on anymore? Seriously, at what point are they finally going to grab one of these proposals and just start running with it, right? Like a football game. At what point are they going to grab a pass and just finally start running? Seriously, somebody grab the ball and just run. Seriously, we don't care. Just grab something. We just want some money to get to us as quickly as possible. But we do know that there are some proposals out there that do also include monthly recurring stimulus checks. In fact, two of them that I can think of right off the top of my head that I want to mention would be these couple of proposals out of nearly over 80 members of Congress who are in support of additional stimulus checks, a fourth stimulus check in the amount of $2,000. One proposal calls for a $2,000 monthly recurring payment, and then another one calls for $1,000 monthly recurring payment. Now, the thing that we also do know about these monthly recurring payments is that in many instances, they want them to include months and months of payments. So not like a one-time stimulus check, but no, they want like 6 months or even up to a year in some instances. But here's what we need to discuss when it comes to these monthly recurring payments. Now, again, we don't have a ton of like actual evidence to actually lean back on as far as feeling like, okay, this is the latest update, because we haven't really heard a whole lot about monthly recurring payments in quite a while. So just stick with me here for just a second. Let me talk you through this when it comes to recurring payments and what I think, in my honest opinion, what would actually be something that we should maybe focus on instead of monthly recurring payments. But again, stick with me here for just another minute. All right, so when it comes to these monthly recurring payments, in my honest opinion, based on everything that I'm seeing, do I think we're going to get them? Well, when it comes to monthly recurring payments, when it comes to stimulus checks, in my honest opinion, I'm going to say probably not, okay? I think that one is probably gone. I just don't think they're going to go through that anymore. Simply because the length of time it's been since we've heard about monthly recurring payments, I just don't think it's going to come back up again with a whole lot of strength and support behind it, and then get a bunch of people to push it through. Maybe, but of course, I'm just kind of leaning toward the no side on that. However, when it comes to monthly recurring payments, I do think there is a much higher likelihood that we do see something else very similar, which would actually be almost a better program at the end of the day. And that would be universal basic income or guaranteed basic income. Now, we've talked about this before, and we continue to see more of these programs that continue to pop up out there that are offering these monthly checks. Now, here's the interesting thing about universal basic income and guaranteed basic income, and why I actually think these programs may actually be superior to monthly recurring stimulus checks. But either way, at the end of the day, it all shakes out to more money in your pocket, right? That's ultimately what we care about the most. We probably don't care all that much the name behind the program. I mean, realistically, it's just a name behind the program. We just want whatever gives us the most money as quickly as possible into our pockets and our bank accounts, right? That's what most of us care about. We do know that there's this proposal out there right now. Yes, again, another proposal that is out there right now that was introduced by Ilhan Omar, which would send out those $1,200 monthly recurring payments as a result of guaranteed basic income on a nationwide level at a rate of $1,200 per individual, ongoing every single month. So there you go. It's, even though it's under a different name, GBI, it would still essentially be a $1,200 stimulus check every month, year over year. I mean, literally every single month. So that's one proposal out there. But that one we do know is out into the future a little ways. But again, I would not be surprised one bit if we see even yet again another proposal pop up and talk about additional payments on an ongoing basis. Here is what is very important to the administration and many people throughout Congress right now. You probably hear about this all the time. I've talked about it, and we continue to see this pop up. It is anti-poverty. You hear this all the time. In fact, this $3.5 trillion package they're working on right now is an anti-poverty plan. That's what they're calling it, is an anti-poverty plan. $3.5 trillion to kind of go against and lift people out of poverty. So, as you can see, they're dedicating a huge amount of money for anti-poverty, right? How can we lift people out of poverty? Well, we've seen the reports that stimulus checks just alone in 2020 lifted 11.7 million people out of poverty alone in 2020. Already this year in 2021, more millions upon millions of people, once again, lifted out of poverty as a result of stimulus checks. So we know, and they know because of these reports, that stimulus checks do work lifting people out of poverty. And yes, we also do recognize that monthly recurring payments, regardless of the name that we have on it, whether it's UBI, GBI, stimulus checks, monthly recurring payments, seriously, whatever the name is, it's ultimately money at the end of the day, lifting people out of poverty because it is raising incomes for those individuals to exceed the $1,073 threshold, which would ultimately be the federal poverty line, right? Makes sense? So as we currently stand, again, I would not be surprised one bit if we see an additional, some kind of proposal, announcement, some kind of something introduced that simply says, hey, let's introduce a nationwide guaranteed basic income program or some kind of other tax credits that we may see very similar to stimulus checks that pop up on a like an adult level, like adult tax credits, very similar to the child tax credit, where basically you get a few $100s every single month, just like the child tax credit. Maybe adults would be like $500 a month, which, by the way, is the most common guaranteed basic income program amount that most people see from these guaranteed basic income programs. So what if they just issue some kind of $500 payment on an adult tax credit level, right? Again, a different name, but essentially the same thing, more monthly payments going forward, ultimately lifting people out of poverty. Make sense? So can you see how all of this is intertwined? It's all kind of linked together. All of these different programs, adult tax credits, child tax credits, universal basic income, guaranteed basic income, stimulus checks, monthly stimulus checks. There's so many different names for essentially the exact same thing, right? So anyway, I wanted to come back and give you a quick update on monthly checks. I've seen a few comments down below, and I wanted to come back and let you know where we currently stand with these things. According to the proposals that are out there now, just kind of in my honest opinion, again, I'm here for you, bringing you all the latest updates and all of the honest, accurate, reliable, and transparent information. Even if it's not everything that everybody wants to hear every single day, I'm here to bring you the accurate and honest information, regardless of what that is. In my honest opinion, based on monthly recurring payments, I don't think it's going to be in the form of monthly stimulus checks. However, I would highly lean toward GBI, UBI, and or adult tax credits. Whatever the name is, essentially it is all the same thing. Monthly recurring payments, but yet they gave it a fancy name, right? Something other than, monthly stimulus checks. Either way, I wanted to come back, give you a quick update, let you know where we stand. But of course, don't worry, you don't need to do the research. I will do all that for you. I watch all this stuff very closely on a daily basis. I kind of go through all my sources, which I have a lot of different sources. I spend hours every day doing this research. I curate all of the information, put it into these videos, and I try to make them as quick and as simple as possible, just because I know everybody's time is valuable, and I just want to be respectful of that.